Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to talk about the state of Georgia and more specifically David Perdue. Yes, you heard that right. David Perdue has decided that he might run for Senate in 2022, this time against Raphael Warnock. In 2021 and 2020, he ran against Jon Ossoff and lost. But he is deciding that he might run in 2022. He has filed paperwork to run. He has said that it is, quote, simply a necessary legal step that will allow me to continue to keep all my options open, which of course is true. There are a lot of candidates who have filed paperwork to run and then not ended up running. But what this does is it enables them to fundraise. It enables them to kind of, maybe launch an exploratory committee eventually, decide, make a final decision eventually of whether he wants to run. But it is going to be quite difficult for him to win for a number of reasons. Number one, David Perdue is a loser. He won in 2014, but then he lost in 2021. Sure, he got more votes than Jon Ossoff in the November election, but that's not what decides the states. And Republicans are the reason that there's a 50% threshold for the runoffs. Democrats changed it to 45%. Republicans changed it back to 50% when they retook power. And he didn't get 50%. He lost the runoff. That is his fault. Are the Republican primary voters going to like him for that? Maybe not, because, a lot of the Trump wing of the party, the more right-wing supporters, did stay home because they didn't see him as a candidate that they could support. So are they going to come out in droves to vote for him in the primary against someone like Doug Collins, against someone like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who probably is not going to run? I think that's very unlikely. But, anything's possible at this point. This has been a crazy year, and next year I think could be crazy as well. But David Perdue's going to have a lot of trouble winning the primary, and even if he does win the primary, how is he going to win back a lot of those voters that he alienated in 2021? And, you're also going to have a problem with the population gains as well. Looking at the population shifts, we can see here from UMich he has a number here. You should go follow him on Twitter at UMichVoter99. Georgia has added 935,000 people since 2010. 2010 to 2019, they've added 935,000 people. Of those people, 89% of them are minorities. So only 11% of those are white. Of course, minorities are very, very Democratic, about 3-1 in the state of Georgia, because you have Latinos, which are a little bit less Democratic than black voters. Asian voters, same thing. They're less Democratic than black voters. But overall, it's about a 3-1 margin, and 89% of them are minorities. And of those white people moving, a lot of it is white liberals that are moving to the Atlanta area that are very liberal. It's not like they're moving to rural North Georgia and voting Republican to kind of offset a lot of these gains, but they're more liberals moving to add on to these 830,000 minorities. Plus, 2019, that's going from 2010 to 2019, going up to 2022, that's another 3 years. Using those same numbers, that's another 300,000 people, 250,000 of which would be minority voters. You're netting a couple 100,000 votes. Maybe not a couple 100,000 votes, but you're netting a large number of votes for the Democratic Party. And the change in population, non-Hispanic black plus 400,000, non-Hispanic Asian plus 115,000, non-Hispanic white 104,000, and non-Hispanic 2 or more races 97,000, Hispanic 207,000. So a lot of minorities moving into the state. Again, whites are only 104,000. You're seeing the same thing in North Carolina, but I'm speaking, just to Georgia in this scenario. But this population change is helping the Democrats a lot because, sure, white voters, a lot of white voters that voted for Romney did decide that they do want to vote for Joe Biden. A lot of them voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. A lot of them voted for Donald Trump in 2016. And now they're voting for Joe Biden. Do they continue to vote for the Democratic Party? Because a lot of them voted Republican down ballot. But even down ballot, they're becoming increasingly Democrat. But that demographic change did certainly help Joe Biden to be able to win the state. Obviously, if 900,000 people didn't move there, Joe Biden wouldn't have won the state. But that's not the only factor. White suburbanites did make a difference, particularly college-educated voters. You look at the swing map, Georgia suburbs, the Atlanta suburbs swung more than virtually any other place towards the Democratic Party. You're looking at a 16-point swing in Henry County, 12 in Cobb, 12 in Gwinnett, 14 in Forsyth, 10 in Cherokee. Even in the metro Atlanta counties or the urban Atlanta counties, Fulton County swung swung 6 points Democrat. And sure, black voters swung a little bit towards the Republican Party. Same with Latino voters. They are still an overwhelmingly Democratic voter base. And really, Republicans are quite maxed out in a lot of these regions. Sure, they can continue to gain a lot of this mid-Georgia area around Macon, around Augusta. They flipped Burke County, but the area where they net the most amount of votes is North Georgia, and they're pretty maxed out here. You can see that because Joe Biden gained in most of these areas. Really, Hillary Clinton had the worst numbers you could possibly get in these regions. Republicans are getting over 80% in most of these counties, so it's going to be difficult to net more votes for the Republican Party anywhere except for the suburbs. And when you have that population gain towards, these urban areas, that is going to help the Democratic Party. And if you look at the Senate races as well, you can see that Raphael Warnock performed even better than both Jon Ossoff and Joe Biden, winning the state by 2 percentage points. He won Gwinnett County by over 21 percentage points, 21.2 percentage points to be exact, cracking 60%. Joe Biden only got 58% of the vote. He got 56.9% in Cobb County, a county where Joe Biden got 56.3% of the vote. So, he got 62.7% in Henry County, a county where Joe Biden only got 59.7% of the vote. And Raphael Warnock also did very well in terms of turnout and margins in the southwest Georgia area, where you have a lot of rural African-American voters. He did very well in the Savannah area, cracking almost 60%, where Joe Biden only got 58.6%. So Raphael Warnock did perform very well. People say, it's only because he was going up against Kelly Loeffler. If David Perdue, who is a better candidate, runs against Raphael Warnock, he'll win very easily. Well, looking at these approval ratings, which were from January 30th, from the pollster Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is generally the most trusted pollster in the state of Georgia. They did get, I believe, the runoffs and the general election within the margin of error. They have Jon Ossoff at a 50% approval rating and a 40% disapproval rating, whereas Raphael Warnock is at a 54% approval rating and a 37% disapproval rating. So he's a plus 17. Jon Ossoff's only a plus 10. So does that really show that Jon Ossoff is the better candidate? Well, based off those numbers, Raphael Warnock's actually the better candidate. And I do agree, Kelly Loeffler is not as good a candidate as David Perdue, but based off those numbers, it's actually leading me to believe that Raphael Warnock is the better candidate. Maybe he wasn't in the election, but at least he's gotten more popular now. You also have 52% of voters who are favorable of Biden, compared to just 41% who had an unfavorable view. Stacey Abrams is also at a 51% approval rating, 41% disapproval rating. And the governor's approval rating, Brian Kemp, only at 42% approval, whereas 51% of people disapprove. I think that you'd probably see similar numbers for David Perdue. You'd probably see similar numbers for other Republicans, people like Doug Collins, who might also be mounting a run for the U.S. Senate, who I think would also have a lot of the struggles that David Perdue had in the suburban areas. So it does say 40% of Georgia voters approve of Trump's job in the White House, which was capped off by groundless voter fraud claims and the January 6th Capitol Hill riot. 57% disapprove of the job Trump did in office. So Trump and the Republican Party in general just is not generally very popular in Georgia, and that is because of these suburban areas where Democrats got very good margins in the 2020 and 2021 elections. But there are bright sides for Republicans. This is the current congressional district here. There are 6 seats currently held by Democrats, and there are 8 seats held by the Republican Party. Democrats have flipped 2 seats since the 2016 election. That is the 6th seat and the 7th seat. In the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton lost both the 6th and 7th. In the 2018 governor election, the 6th and 7th both flipped to Stacey Abrams. In the 2020 election, Georgia's 7th went to Joe Biden by 6.3 percentage points, and the 6th went to Joe Biden by 11 percentage points. Mitt Romney won that district by 23.3 percentage points. So that's a 34.3 percentage point shift in Georgia's 6th congressional district, and a quite similar trend in Georgia's 7th congressional district, about a 28 percentage point shift, give or take a couple percentage points. So these are the 2 districts that what you call a dummy man, or districts that were made to be drawn for the Republican Party are now Democratic seats. However, that is going to change. This is my prediction of what they will do when they redraw the districts. Currently, the 7th district is held by a Democratic representative. In this map, it would be held by a Republican. In the actual map, the 7th district went to Donald Trump by 7 percentage points in 2016. In this map, it goes to Donald Trump by 34 percentage points. They take the Atlanta suburbs, give Democrats 4 districts, 4 safe Democratic districts. The 13th district, majority black. The 5th district is also majority black. The 4th district is majority black, and the 6th district is majority white, but that is a decreasing number, and it is also more Democratic voters, more Democratic white voters, white suburbanized, but this isn't a district that would flip. It's plus 20. But the 7th district is much redder. It takes less of the Atlanta suburbs and takes more rural areas. The 10th takes more Atlanta suburbs. The 11th takes more Atlanta suburbs. The 14th takes more Atlanta suburbs. And even the 3rd district takes Atlanta suburbs. So that is what the Republican Party will do to get rid of a congressional district for the Democratic Party in the state of Georgia. And it is going to make a difference for them. But, another thing to note to just really highlight those demographic changes, if you look, these are the numbers of the population in 2010. Each district had just about 691 or 692,000 people. You change those numbers to 2018, you can see vast population differences. The closest district is about 731,000 people, but the 2nd district has 60,000 few people than it should, whereas you go to the 7th district, it has 60,000 too many people. So that's where you really see that there is large population growth in the Atlanta suburbs. Even in the Atlanta city itself, the 5th district has 24,000 too many people. The 4th district has 12,000 too many people. The 13th district has 15,000 too many people. And then you look at the North Georgia area, the 14th district has 25,000 few people. The 8th district has 30,000 few people in South Georgia here. The 9th district has approximately, about the exact number that it should. So this is going to be a problem for Republicans, drawing Democrats into Republican districts when the areas that are growing the most are Democratic voters moving into the metro Atlanta area. So this is, a video about David Perdue, but really it's talking about the immense changes that we've seen in the state of Georgia over quite a short period of time that is going to aid the Democratic Party. I do think it's going to help the Democratic Party in the future. If I had to say, Georgia could go down on the path of Virginia, really. Republicans are really going to have to do something about these suburban voters, which have historically been very Republican, now becoming much more Democratic. And if the Republican Party doesn't do something about it soon, sure, they can win Minnesota, they can win Michigan, they can win Pennsylvania eventually, but if they lose Texas, Georgia, Arizona, what, is the cost worth it? I wouldn't say it is, but that is what I want to talk about in this video, David Perdue, but more generally, the state of Georgia. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.